welcome into another The First Descendant build video. My name's Sergeant Moose, and today, guys, we're going to be talking about the newest Descendant, Ines Raya. Guys, just came into the game as part 2 of the Season 2 update. You are looking at, overall, one of the most powerful Descendants in the game. But one of the reasons why we're talking about this build today is not only for Ines herself, but also for the newest content that came into the game, the Void Erosion Purge. So, as most of you probably know already, this is the newest content within the game. It's also going to be used to further enhance your weapons, which is going to make you even more powerful. Now, we have 20 total levels of the Void Purge for right now. We're going to be getting another 10 levels here in just a few weeks, and then I believe we're going to be getting up to level 50 by the time March comes, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, they picked the perfect Descendant to drop for this Void Erosion Purge because Ines is one of the best characters in the game to complete every level of this Purge. So, first thing I want to talk about, guys, is really the most important levels of the Void Erosion Purge are 17 to 20. And of course, if we look at 17, it can reward us with a chance to get the level 6 Master Cores. Now, if we go back, say we go back to 16, we only have the chance of getting the highest at level 5. Now, we do have level 7 Master Cores within the game, but they are not guaranteed rewards, but you will get them as drops throughout the mission. So, if we look here, guys, if you go to any one of these Void Erosion Purge missions, 17 through 20, you have a chance to drop the highest cores in the game. However, I like to run level 20 because in terms of time efficiency, we get the most cores out of this level, and we get the most level 7 cores out of this level as well. And if you're gaining a bunch of cores and farming the heck out of this, it's going to be really good for the future because there is going to be a new system implemented into the game where you're going to be able to combine lesser cores and basically combine them into a better weapon core. So, don't think you're just kind of wasting your time by gathering, you know, level 5, level 4 cores, whatever it may be, level 6. Don't think you're wasting your time because you're going to have a use for them in the future. But as of right now, yes, you want to be farming level 7 cores because it's the current highest tier core that you can put on your weapon. So, this is why I like to run level 20, and this is why we're going to talk about Ines Raya right now, because I feel like she is probably the best Descendant in the game at completing these level 20 Void Purges in terms of time efficiency. So, let's go ahead and we'll take a look at the build, guys, for her. And when I talk about time efficiency, guys, time is not really, this isn't like a speed run build or a build that's going to, like, you know, get you through this in like 2 minutes. It'll be close, but it's not going to be like anything like that. But it's just going to ensure that you're going to have good runs every time. You're not going to be sweating your ass off to where you're trying not to die the entire time and all that stuff. This is a good, comfortable build that you can run through this level 20 Purge. So, let's go ahead and take a look at our weapon first, guys. The only one that really matters here is the Secret Garden. We use it as a stat stick. We are built into it in case we do have to shoot it, but with this build, you're never going to have to even shoot your gun once in the level 20s. But let's talk about it a little bit. We have sprint speed for the master cores. Again, we're just kind of running it as a stat stick, but sprint speed I found does help out a little bit with survivability in terms if you're able to move around a little bit better and kind of evade some of those champion hits and everything like that. But taking a look at the Secret Garden, the only thing we really care about is unique ability over here. Of course, pest control if we're using a tech skill. As of right now, the way we have Ines Raya built, all of her skills are tech. And coming down here, if we hit a tech skill, it'll grant us pest control, which we look at this skill power and skill power per stack. It stacks 3 times, which means as long as you're hitting these tech shots with Ines Raya, they are going to get stronger because of this weapon, and you're going to be doing more damage, essentially. So, Secret Garden, guys, this is a big one also used on Freyna. Because she has a lot of tech skills as well. A lot of folks like to run this one with her. Now it even gets another use with Ines Raya. So, looking at that, guys, we're going to come over here to Reactor. Now, I could get a better roll on this. I'm happy where it's at right now, but of course I won't stop trying to get a better roll. But you get the idea. Obviously, electric and tech. You want to have your tactical rifle equipped to this as well. Skill critical hit damage is the biggest thing here on the roll, and I was told that tech skill power boost ratio would be better than electric, so we'll get that check that out. See if we do more damage that way, but I feel like the electric skill power boost ratio is okay. Just make sure you have that skill critical hit damage, and also for one of your elements you have a power boost ratio as well. Coming down here, guys, we have the Slayer set. Pretty standard. Of course, we know what that does. Skill power plus 26.1%. If you have all 4 going on the Slayer set, we're just looking for max MP, MP recovery in combat, and MP recovery out of combat, typically with the Slayer set. But the cool thing about Ines Raya is she works mainly off of custom resource, and you don't have to worry too much about her MP, because the way we have her built, she's able to get her MP back after hitting critical hits. As you guys can see here, if you hit enemies with critical hits who are afflicted with Conductor, you will get MP back. And of course, skill hit critical hit rate increases as max MP increases. So an absolutely badass passive here with Ines. So I will say one thing, guys, no matter what you're doing with MP on your build, you're never really going to have to worry about MP with her as long as you're hitting critical hits. Now, coming back, guys, we'll talk about the modules a little bit. Now, these modules we have on Ines Raya, they are very basic modules. You know, when you go in, you look at a new Descendant, you try to figure out, you know, what kind of damage their powers do. You accordingly apply mods that way. Of course, we'll just take a look here. We're running Time of the Hunting Grounds. Changes to a skill that quickly dashes toward enemies, deals damage and inflicts Conductor on all enemies in the path, reduces the number of bounces of Chain Lightning, and modifies it to be stackable. So this is what we're running this module for. I recommend you guys farm this out. You can farm it from, I believe, Frostwalkers, where I got it from, if I'm not mistaken. You can combine modules, different things like that, but definitely try to get Time of the Hunting Grounds. Great mod for Ines. Now, again, we have some basic stuff coming over here. I went ahead and put MP conversion on because we can afford to lose some max MP because of her passive for skill cooldown, a 36.5% skill cooldown. And we're going to start getting into the crit rate and crit damage stuff. Skill critical hit damage, 115.4. And of course, because we're electric and tech, we're going to be running focus on electric, focus on tech to boost our skills up. HP amplification for a little bit of survivability. We have more skill crit rate right here with skill insight. Potent collector for our custom resource, guys. Now, you're going to be building your custom resource throughout the game. And of course, it's going to be absolutely incredible for your number 4 ability. The number 4 ability is the ability of Ines that is just going to annihilate the entire map. So you want to have as much custom resource as possible. This is why we're running this mod. When defeating an enemy, instantly recovers 12.2% of a custom resource at a 17% chance. That's a really good chance, and it shows. Coming over here, Nimble Fingers, again, more skill cooldown we have going on here, and we also have range with skill expansion, which comes massively in handy. The absolute amazing God perk that we all love, Front Lines, we're running that for crit damage and crit rate, and also, again, focus on tech to boost our skills. So nothing really, like, eye-popping here on the modules or anything out of the ordinary that you would really see on many other Descendants that you're trying to go for a crit build with, but this is what suits Ines Raya. There's no doubt about it. It works out very well. And I also want to talk about Inversion Reinforcement a little bit here too, guys. So you can pretty much do kind of like whatever you want to do in terms of survivability and stuff, but I like to run the particle augmentation. When defeating an enemy, grants the augmentation, which is plus 8.6% defense for up to 5 stacks. So good for survivability. Again, as you guys saw in her modules and the components, we don't have a lot of defense on Ines Raya, so we want to try to stay alive without, you know, having to be running around like a chicken with her head cut off and, you know, going crazy. That's where this Inversion Reinforcement helps. Also, we have heightened sensory cells. When an enemy's nearby, it grants the heightened cells every 0.5 seconds. It lasts for 10 seconds. It recovers HP by 20% of max HP and MP by 8.5% of max MP. So the HP is where it comes in handy there. And also down here, we're running Adrenaline Rush. When defeating an enemy, grants Adrenaline Rush. All movement speeds plus 16%. So it also adds for more survivability, and it helps us get through the mission faster. So that's our Inversion Reinforcements, guys. This is the build for Ines Raya. Like I said, it's nothing really crazy or off the wall or very different, but it is the build that suits her. And, you know, I wanted to make a build that not only was going to help me get through these high level purges, but I also wanted to make a build that was fun with Ines, and that is one thing I can say about this character, guys. She is a ton of fun to play in this game. She's very different from all the other Descendants, and as far as clearing mobs, she is probably the best, even better than Freyna now, probably the best Descendant in the game in terms of that. But yes, Ines Raya, right now, we're breezing through level 20s with this build with her, having a lot of fun. Of course, we're going to be testing it as we get the new levels up to level 30 coming here in the future. I can't wait for that. But if you're trying to grind them weapon cores, guys, this is the build for you to get through them missions quick. Again, like I said, it's not a time race. It's not, you know, a leaderboard thing or anything like that. But if I can complete these level 20s and, you know, sometimes sub 4-minute times, I am really, really happy about that. So let me know what you guys think about this build, man. Are you trying this build? Have you tried anything different from this build? Maybe something that you think's better than this build? Feel free to let me know in the comments if you haven't already. And that does it for the video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Sergeant Moose. We'll see you guys on the next one.